The cold of the cargo hold bit through the thin rags wrapped around her trembling body. She curled into herself, trying to disappear among the forgotten crates of scrap metal and old tech. The silence was broken only by the occasional shudder of the ship as it passed through another layer of atmosphere. Lyra had stopped counting the days. Time had lost meaning since she was sold into servitude after the fall of the Vayari Empire, her empire. Once a member of the Highborn, a princess of one of the most advanced alien civilizations in the quadrant, now she was just another piece of salvage. Slaves weren't supposed to feel anything. That's what they told her when they branded the collar onto her neck, that feeling was a privilege. But Lyra still felt. And what she felt most was pain, deep, marrow-eating sorrow, and the ache of betrayal. The ship groaned again. Someone was coming. She heard the metallic clank of boots and tensed, her arms curling tighter around her knees. The door to the cargo hold slid open with a hiss, and a sliver of light sliced through the dark. "Anyone in here?" A voice called out, male, soft, unsure. Lyra didn't move. The man stepped forward, carrying a portable light that revealed more of him as he approached. Human, average height, with tan skin and tousled brown hair. He was younger than the others, maybe mid-20s. Not a slaver, judging by the nervous way he held his tool pouch. Then he saw her. "Oh, stars," he breathed. "You're alive." Lyra flinched as he took a step forward, her eyes darting to the stun baton on his belt. "I'm not here to hurt you," he said quickly, kneeling slowly and setting down the light. "My name's Kieran. I do repairs on the ship. Maintenance crew." Lyra said nothing. He glanced down at the collar around her neck and winced. "You're one of the cargo." She nodded once, slowly. Kieran looked away for a moment, as if ashamed of the entire galaxy. "That's not right." It was the first time anyone had ever said that out loud. Lyra stared at him. Kieran pulled off his outer jacket and held it out toward her. "Here. You're freezing." She didn't move. Kieran waited, patient. Finally, Lyra reached out with trembling fingers and took it. The warmth of the fabric shocked her system. She hugged it tightly, pulling it around her like a shield. "What's your name?" he asked. "Lyra." He smiled, gentle and sincere. "It's nice to meet you, Lyra." Kieran started visiting her every night. At first, it was just to bring food. Real food, not the nutrient blocks they tossed at her. Then came the stories, about Earth, about his sister who used to sing him to sleep, about starscapes he'd seen while patching up old vessels. Lyra listened in silence, her voice still rusty from disuse. But little by little, she responded. A word. A question. A chuckle. One night, as Kieran was telling her about a bird called a hummingbird, she surprised herself by laughing, really laughing. Kieran looked stunned, then grinned. "There it is. That's the sound I've been waiting for." She blushed and looked away, embarrassed. But he didn't tease her. He never did. Days passed. Then weeks. Kieran was careful. The slavers didn't know he was coming into the hold. If they did, they'd reassign him, or worse. He smuggled her better clothes, a real blanket, a solar lamp. Slowly, Lyra began to look more like the woman she used to be. Still haunted, still hurting, but not broken. And then, one night, she asked the question that had been building in her chest. "Why are you doing this?" Kieran blinked. "Because you deserve kindness. No one ever says that to people like me." "Well," he said, "then they're wrong." She stared at him. "Are you not afraid they'll find out? Punish you?" He shrugged. "Maybe. But some things are worth risking for." Something cracked open in her. A wall she thought had solidified forever. She reached out and placed her hand over his. Kieran stilled. "I haven't touched anyone like this in months," she whispered. "I forgot what warmth felt like." He turned his hand to entwine his fingers with hers. "Then let me help you remember." One evening, the ship docked on a mining station near the outer rim. Kieran came to her early, face pale. "They're selling the cargo off tomorrow. You'll be gone." A lump formed in Lyra's throat. "Where?" "An off-world buyer. Unknown destination. Once they take you, I won't be able to help. Silence fell. Neither of them could look the other in the eye. Kieran finally spoke. But I have a plan. She looked up. I've been preparing an escape route. An old maintenance skimmer I've been fixing for months. It's quiet, fast. I can get you off this ship. We'll run. Go to the Outlands. I know people there. You would do that, for me. I would do anything for you. She shook her head, tears slipping down her cheeks. You'll lose your job. Your life. Everything. Kieran cupped her face gently. Lyra. I already gave you everything that matters. My heart was yours the moment you laughed. The escape wasn't easy. They had to wait until the third shift rotation, when the bridge was understaffed. Kieran bypassed 2 security drones, rerouted an alarm, and carried Lyra's small bag of essentials, everything he could salvage from her life aboard the ship. They ran through cold, echoing halls. Lyra's legs threatened to give out, but Kieran was always beside her, steady and warm. They reached the skimmer bay. The stolen vessel was small but fast, built for stealth, not comfort. As Kieran prepped the ignition, alarms suddenly blared. They know, Lyra gasped. Kieran cursed, fingers flying over the controls. We can still make it. The door began to close. Kieran shoved Lyra inside the skimmer and slammed the hatch. Go! No, she screamed, clutching the inside of the door. Not without you. But he was already outside, overriding the docking sequence. If I go now, they'll track us both. I'll stall them. You have to fly. Tears streamed down her face. Kieran. He looked up, eyes filled with something more powerful than fear, love. I'll find you, he said. I promise. Then he hit the override. The skimmer launched into the blackness of space. Days passed. Lyra made it to the Outlands. Kieran's contacts, rebels, salvagers, outcasts, took her in. They removed the collar, gave her shelter, food, purpose. But her heart remained in limbo. Every night, she looked to the stars, hoping to see the man who gave her warmth when she had none. Weeks turned into a month. Then one morning, the alert came. A human vessel entering orbit, ID unknown. She ran to the platform, heart hammering. The ship landed. The hatch opened. And there he was. Bruised, exhausted, but smiling. Kieran. She ran into his arms. The sob tore from her throat like an uncoiled spring. I told you, he whispered into her hair. I always keep my promises. She pulled back to look at him, tears glimmering in her eyes. You gave me hope. You gave me freedom. He leaned in, forehead resting against hers. And now I give you forever.